We are now.
Thank you. All right, Dr. Roush, we are ready.
My name is Clark Roush, and on behalf of the Nebraska Arts Council, I would like to welcome you to this panel meeting. We have convened to review applications in the Arts Learning Project Grants category. Decisions made by this panel will determine the funding for all applications. They will be reviewed by the NAC Council at the next meeting to convene on June 9, 2026. I'd like for each of our panelists to introduce yourselves to one another and to those listening in, and I'll call upon you one by one. David?
My name is David Knabb. I'm a panelist on this Arts Learning Council review today. This is my first time as a reviewer, and I'm very thrilled to be here. I teach at the University of Nebraska at Kearney in the music department.
Thank you. Rachel?
My name is Rachel Olson, and I'm the Director of Education and Engagement at the National Willa Cather Center in Red Cloud, Nebraska. And like David, I'm also a first-time reviewer and very happy to be here.
Thank you. Michaela?
Hi, everyone. My name is Michaela Moore. I am the Arts Learning Coordinator at the South Carolina Arts Commission. So I have evaluated grants before but this is my first time doing it for the Nebraska Arts Council. So I'm excited to lend my expertise and have experience in arts learning and working with nonprofit and for-profit arts organizations. Thank you.
Thank you. Mike, would you like to say anything?
I would. Thank you, Doctor. First of all, welcome. Thank you all for joining us, and thank you for bringing us these projects. There's no more important work than arts education, and so it's great to see so many wonderful projects. And I also want to thank the panelists for joining us today. You will find that they do have a wealth of experience and ideas and comments that will do well for you to write down and take a look at your projects and see how they might be able to better them. I will be listening in, and I can't wait to hear what they all have to say about your projects. Did you introduce the staff? I wanted to make sure that everybody got a chance to say hi to Aiden, who is going to be joining our staff next time as the person in charge of this category, so that he'll be who they talk to from now on. Aiden, are you there? Yes. This is Aiden. He will be joining our staff next week, and for all future arts education projects, Aiden is the guy. So I wanted to make sure you all got introduced to him. Okay. I'm out of here. Thank you. Oh, no, I'm not. I have something important to say. And that is that this is a very important time, both at the federal and at the state level, in terms of funding for the arts. And many of you have, at the state level, state senators who are either joining us again next year, or more importantly, new candidates for state office. And it is no more important time for you to reach out to them, get to know them, invite them to your events, thank them for the support that they've given and that we hope that they will give in the future. And make sure that they know about your projects, about your organization, and about the arts education programming that you do in your community, and why it has such an impact on the families that live and or will live in your community. If you have any questions about how best to do that, please reach out to the staff or our friends at Nebraskans for the Arts. They are also very helpful and would be glad to talk with you. Okay, thank you, Doctor.
Thank you, Mike. Rachel, would you please explain the panel process to anyone listening in?
Absolutely. So I also want to say thank you for everyone that's joining in today. The reviewers have read and reviewed the applications prior to this panel and have scored them according to the rubric that was linked in the application. Applicants are encouraged to listen to the reviews, but will not be able to interact with panelists. Written minutes will also be provided to all applicants. Award notices will be sent after the Nebraska Arts Council board meeting. The Nebraska Arts Council staff are here to answer any questions for applicants before applications are submitted, but we are not a part of the panel discussion. This conversation is for the panelists, and staff are here to clarify questions about process or policy only. Thank you.
Thank you. Our community programs manager, Josh Brown, is going to be providing a brief synopsis of each application. I'll then call upon panelists one by one for their comments. Primary reviewer, then secondary reviewer. And so let's proceed then with the first application. Josh?
All right, thank you, Dr. Roush. Our first application is from BHS Fine Arts Booster Club. The grant application for Homestead Heroes Show Choir Summer Camp hosted by Beatrice Public Schools on January 29, 2027. The event is expected to bring together approximately 75 Beatrice High School students, 50 Beatrice Middle School students, and visiting show choirs from across the region. Grant funds will help to pay judges' fees, the choreographer working with the Beatrice High School students, and music royalties.
Thank you. We will now begin with our primary reviewer, David.
Yeah. So I've never done this before. Let me get to my scores. It was the project overview was good. I didn't feel it was great. It was a little hard to follow. It seems like what they really want to do is fund getting mirrors for their dance studio and a curtain, which totals for those two items $5,300. And that is also the exact amount they want from the grant. So, but I think what they're trying to do is get some Nebraska Arts Council money so they can redirect some of the other booster funds to cover those items that the school needs. It seems that that's how it appears to me. It took me a while to figure that out, and so I thought the project overview was good, not a perfect score. The arts education value I thought was very good, and show choir has a great deal of benefit for all participants, and I thought that was very good. I gave them nearly a perfect score. Qualifications of the artists were good for the area, and so I gave them a very strong score as far as that. And that covers what I had to say about artistic quality. The next group is planning and evaluation comments. And Jeff Davis is the Beatrice Fine Arts Booster Club treasurer. That only matters because Jeff Davis is the person writing the grant proposal. And that was as I was trying to figure out what was going on. It took me a while to figure out that person's role. It's clearly stated, but this was the first one I looked at, and I had a little trouble orienting myself. The measurable goals, I put it 6 out of 10. The educational learning standards, since this is taking place in a school, our rubric says that activities, the rubric says, I still use paper sometimes. Projects taking place in schools must include educational learning standards. And I couldn't find that. And that was a concern for me because that's clearly stated in our rubric, and I'm betting that was clearly stated in the guidelines for the authors of these grants. Evaluation process was hurt as well from that. And the planning It could have been better. I think if they'd planned better, they would have seen the missing educational learning standards. The budget, I gave them a perfectly good score, perfect. They request 5,300, which is the cost of the mirrors and the curtain to upgrade the school's facilities, so that they're going to use this money to offset some of the other booster income, so they can purchase these items. And now on to outreach and engagement. For outreach and impact, I thought it was good, not great. It seems focused. It could have been written in a different way so that the benefit to the community was more emphasized. It seems to emphasize, in my reading, it emphasized the benefits to the students, participants of Beatrice High School. Letters of support were good, and underserved outreach was pretty good. So that's my take. Is that the kind of input you're looking for, Dr. Roush?
Yeah, I don't know that you need to necessarily talk about the scores as much as you do the comments to make them better.
Okay, yeah, it was mainly in the goals and the evaluation process. My concerns were the educational learning standards being addressed directly.
Right. Yeah, I just don't think they need the numbers right now. I think they'll probably get those
Okay,
at a later date when we're done.
okay.
Just as a clarification, but thank you for that.
Dr. Roush, I just wanted to jump in real quick.
Yeah,
Let the panelists know, we will not be funding the mirrors. I know it's a large part of the application and what's written in there. But just as an FYI, that is not something that the Arts Council will fund. The use of funds is stated as the judge's fees and the choreographer and the royalties. So I just kind of wanted to clarify that real quick.
right. Thank you. And you will be, a panelist, you will be given a chance to rescore if need be after all the comments are made before we move on to the next one, just so you're aware of that procedure. All right.
Right now, the redirecting the funds, that's completely, that's okay, isn't it? That doesn't draw, I mean, redirecting the funds because we can't pay for improvements of their facility, but we can pay for the artist fees and so forth, so they can use their fees to execute these improvements. And that's okay the way it's written. It's my understanding.
Yep, exactly.
Thank you. All right. Rachel, you are the secondary.
Thanks. I don't have much to add. I think that David covered. I think that the quality of the program is very high, and I appreciated the enthusiasm in the application. I think that my main kind of concerns or areas of improvement were also located in the description of the evaluation process and the project goals kind of being absent of specific learning outcomes or learning standards. So
Thank you, Rachel.
mhm.
Michaela, do you have anything to add?
Nope, everything was pretty much covered.
All right. Well, thank you so much. If you need to adjust your scores, please do so at this time, and then give me a thumbs up when you're ready to move on for Josh's next explanation.
I have a question, and I don't know who can answer it. The educational learning standards, we're talking about the Nebraska, the Nebraska Public Education Learning Standards. Is that what it is? Or are they just any learning standards? Education learning standards.
I can speak to that. That would be the Nebraska Fine Arts standards.
Okay.
The Create, Connect.
All right, I saw a thumbs up in my screen, and I don't know who's in it. We all ready to go or not? Michaela, are you good? I'm sorry if I missed your thumbs up. Okay, there's David's. Rachel, you said you were good to go?
Mhm.
All right, looks like Michaela's still figuring. That's fine.
Oh, I put it a thumbs up.
Oh, okay. Locked and loaded. Good. All right. Josh, our next one.
All right, our next application is from Chase County Area Arts Council. This application is for Missoula Children's Theater residency in Imperial, Nebraska from July 19th through the 25th, 2026. Up to 60 students in grades 1 through 12 will audition, rehearse, and perform the musical Betty Lou and the Country Beast in 2 public performances at the Arts Center. The grant funds will help pay a portion of the MCT tour fee, lodging for 2 visiting artist directors and the accompanist Wade.
Thank you. We will begin with our primary reviewer, Rachel.
All right. Well, I think overall, I thought this was a strong application for a Missoula program. I think that their outreach plans made sense to me. It seems like they have some good partnerships that they're utilizing to bring this program to their community. I think that maybe they could have adjusted a little. Let me back up and just say that I think that the artists and educators that are part of Missoula are totally qualified to run this project or be their lead sort of artists. I think the planning process was very thorough in their documents. I would say that where I, had recommendations for this application, again, it would be around maybe adding a piece to their evaluation process. I don't think, and the secondary reviewer can maybe add to this if they need to. I don't think they had a plan for any kind of like post-performance assessment. A lot of their evaluation plans centered around just ticket sales and kind of event participation, which I think is important. But I would say that distributing some kind of survey to both the parents and participants as the cast and the people putting on the show, and maybe just a quick audience survey would be helpful to them. I think I also noticed they were missing a letter of recommendation. So just a kind of, recommendation to really make sure that they have their 2 letters submitted in the application. But overall, I feel like they're reaching underserved groups. They are they have some good outreach plans, and I thought it was really fascinating that 25% of Chase County are students. That was a really interesting piece of demographic information. So,
Thank you, Rachel.
Mhm.
David, do you have anything to add?
Sure. I like this one very much as well. I thought overall it was very good. And the piece missing that Rachel mentioned in the evaluation process was exactly, I concur with that. This is a relatively remote region of our state. And anything we can do to outreach down there, I think should be applauded. And the Missoula, is it the Missoula? Is that what it is?
Mhm.
It just seems outstanding. So I support this one very much. Thank you.
Thank you, David. Michaela, do you have anything to add?
Yes. Regarding the letter of recommendation, they can still submit a link, right? So they submitted a link of someone supporting, even though it wasn't like a specific letter, would that still count?
Oh, did I miss a link? Maybe I did.
Yeah, there's a
Oh,
letter to
okay.
link instead of a
Then,
document.
then that was my mistake. Thank you for pointing that out.
All right. Anything else, Michaela?
But other than that, that was just the only thing I wanted to bring up.
All right. Thank you for that. If you need to adjust your scores, please do so and give me a thumbs up when you're ready to move on. I see everyone has indicated they're done, so we'll move on to our next application. Josh?
Josh,
And
Thank you. Our next application is from Circle Theater. This grant application is for Echoes of the Prairie, a series of inclusive acting, musical theater, and storytelling workshops based on Nebraska history, running through September through December 2026. Program will reach an anticipated 600 young people ages 12 through 21 across 10 schools and community organizations, with a particular focus on students in alternative curriculum and young adult transition programs in the Omaha Metro, and outreach in Scottsbluff, South Sioux City, and Kearney. Grant funds will support teaching artist fees for lead teaching artist Courtney Stein Carencross and the Circle Theater's intern teaching artist.
thank you. We will now begin with our primary reviewer, Rachel.
I thought this was a very strong application. I appreciated the detailed goals that they outlined in their application. Sort of their kind of multi-tiered list. They also, I think, had some very specific plans for tracking impact and evaluating the program, which I also thought was very strong. I thought their supporting materials were excellent and really gave a good sense of some of the kind of adaptive theatrical techniques that they use. The scope of their project is impressive. Their plans to conduct outreach seemed very exciting. And I think the only thing I noted as far as their budget is they have a general expense line that just, I don't know, maybe they could be a little bit more specific in how they are, they could itemize that a little bit more. But otherwise, I thought their budget made sense and was easy to follow. So um, that's all I have.
Thank you. Rachel, David, you are the secondary.
I am the secondary. Yes, I really loved this one. We're supposed to give our opinions. That's my opinion. I thought the website was simply wonderful, and the program includes persons with disabilities and elders in a way that many of the other proposals do not, and in a way that I was looking for. The the artists have international recognition and seem first rate by any standards. The goals were well articulated. The evaluation I felt was articulated, and everything else was green lights to go. So, to keep it brief, thank you.
Thank you, David. Michaela, do you have anything you'd like to add?
I was saying everything has been covered from my end.
All right, thank you. If you need to adjust your scores, please do so and give a thumbs up when you're ready to move on. I see everyone has indicated they're done, so we'll move on to our next application. Josh?
All right, our next application is from Digsite Productions. This grant application is for a series of tuition-free youth filmmaking camps held at Film Spark Studios in downtown Fremont during 2026 and 2027. In partnership with Fremont, Cedar Bluffs, and Arlington Public Schools, approximately 120 middle and high school students will learn screenwriting, cinematography, directing, and editing, culminating in public screenings of original short films. Grant funds will support teaching educator stipends, film making equipment, location fees, and institutional materials.
Thank you. We will now begin with our primary reviewer, Michaela.
Yes. So looking back at my notes for this application, I really enjoyed reading it. I thought it was strong overall, especially their product description, how they explain the educational impact. I enjoyed their work samples as well. Going into their goals, I thought they were very clear in listing those goals and describing those goals and their importance to them, and also how they plan to measure success with them. Um, their budget, I thought was clear, and how they've outlined their planning process for this. In terms of their outreach, I thought they were uh, they seemed very thorough and particular about where they're serving and why they're serving there and how they're gonna tackle it. And is there anything? Yeah, I think that's all I got. Yeah, I really enjoyed reading this.
Thank you, Michaela. David, do you have anything to add?
I have nothing to add.
Thank you. Rachel, do you have anything to add?
He indicated no.
All right.
Sorry. Yes, no, I'm good.
All right. Thank you. If you need to adjust your scores, please do so and give a thumbs up when you're ready to move on. Are you good, Rachel? All right. I see everyone has indicated. Whoa, 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 whoa. Ah, screens. Bear with me just a second. I gotta get the script back here. There we go. Okay, I apologize. Well, Josh, we're going to move on. So go ahead and introduce the next one to us.
All right, sir, will do. Our next application is from FilmStreams. This grant application is for FilmStreams' School to Screen program, which provides curated film screenings and accompanying study guides to students throughout the 2026-2027 academic year at the Ruth Sokoloff Theater and Dundee Theater in Omaha. The program aims to serve over 5,000 attendees from schools across the Omaha Council Bluffs Metro, including Yutan, Bennington, and Oahu. Grant funds will support program operations, including curriculum development, study guide production, and screening costs.
Thank you. We will now begin with our primary reviewer, Michaela.
Starting with the project description, I thought it was very strong and detailed. And I especially love their narrative about the educational impact and the inclusion of those study guides, which I think would be very useful. And them already talking about surveys and how they were going to be evaluating them in part. Also, seeing like an example of a study guide as an example is very helpful. Continuing on to goals, I think, let me make sure, go into my notes. Continuing on to goals, I think that they were very clear and detailed about focusing on just growing the participation from middle school and expounding upon that. And then also, I like their answer for evaluation. They seem like they have a clear vision for that. Nothing glaring in a bad way stood out in terms of the budget and planning process. I thought it was pretty straightforward. In terms of the demographics and who they'll serve, they're very clear in the areas they want to have an impact in and how their thought process in tackling that as well. And yeah, I think that's all I have to say.
Thank you, Michaela. David, do you have anything to add?
David, you're muted.
Apologies. Yeah, this application is different than many of the others because it's not as participatory. It's really encouraging responses to these films. I love the films that they are featuring and what they're trying to do. And the more I thought about this one, the more I liked the idea. They've got a facilitator. What did they call that person? On educators and a guided discussion led by our general manager of education. So general manager of education will be on site and guide discussion about these thought-provoking and at times difficult films with difficult ideas. So I like the artistic value, that arts education value. And that's really. And there was special consideration given for viewers with disabilities. I like that for underserved outreach. And that's all I've got to say.
All right. Thank you, David. Rachel, do you have anything you'd like to add?
Just that I was really impressed with the growth of this program that they reported in their application. It's good to see in a time when theater attendance is, maybe lower. So yeah, great application.
Thank you. If you need to adjust your scores, please do so and give a thumbs up when you're ready to move on. All right, I see everyone has indicated they're done, so we'll move on to our next application. Josh?
Our next application is from here in Nebraska, doing business as Rabble Mill. This grant application supports the Bay's beat making and fashion clubs and camps for school-aged youth offered during the school year and summer at the Bay, LNK in Lincoln, and the Benson Community Center in Omaha. Over the grant period, the Bay expects to facilitate roughly 25 fashion club sessions and 25 beat-making sessions serving marginalized young people, about 85% from racial and ethnic minorities and 75% qualifying for free or reduced lunch. Grant funds will support wages for the artists and educators leading the programming.
Thank you. We will now begin with our primary reviewer, David.
Yes, this one, I loved the target audience and the combination of fashion with music. I thought was innovative and and should attract interest for participants. I thought the project overview was easy to follow, and the arts education value was well articulated, and the qualifications of the artists was easy to understand, and I appreciate it. And the goals I thought were well articulated, and there was a good evaluation process. And the planning, I thought everything was appropriate, and yeah, that's basically what I've got to say about that one.
Thank you, David. Michaela, you are the secondary.
So, like the second, their narratives about their goals and their evaluation process. Thought that was very detailed and thorough. And I can see their passion, which was great. And also really enjoyed reading about their outreach tactics and those how they're gonna reach out to underserved communities.
All right, thank you, Michaela. Rachel, do you have anything you'd like to add?
No, I have nothing to add.
All right. Well, thank you. If you need to adjust your scores, please do so and give us a thumbs up when you're ready to move on.
That was everyone, Clark.
All right. I apologize. I'm trying to keep track of two screens and I'm a one screen man. Josh, we're locked and loaded, so let's move on.
All right, sir. Our next application is from Impact Art. This grant application is for a series of graffiti art and printmaking workshops hosted in partnership with the Hamilton County Youth Center in Aurora during a week in July 2026. Impact Art aims to engage up to 200 youth from Aurora and the surrounding rural area with workshops led by artists Angelica Tapia and Taglio Printmaking and Josh Arias, the basics of graffiti. Grant funds will purchase a portion of workshop materials and provide honorariums for the participating artists.
Thank you. We'll now begin with our primary reviewer, Rachel.
Excuse me. I thought this was a really interesting project, and I think that the artistic quality is high. I was, interested in the artist's bio. I thought she had some really interesting artwork. I appreciated that they were very clear about the sort of the lack of arts opportunities in their community, and not just arts, but youth serving organizations in general. So I appreciated that they articulated that in terms of being a rural place. I think that their budget seemed clear, and their plan seemed clear. I think, again, this is maybe my former teacher self, but I did think that maybe with their evaluation plans, I thought that they were strong and they were tracking sort of engagement through attendance and collaboration. I think all I would recommend for that portion of the project was maybe some more detail about how they're collecting testimonials and what they'll do with those afterwards. But overall, I thought this sounds like a fun summer project that will engage their youth community.
Thank you, Rachel. David, you are the secondary.
Okay, let me pull up my notes. I was impressed in a very good way by the work samples. I thought they were interesting and engaging. The overview was easy to follow, and the arts education value I felt was very good and well articulated. The goals at times seemed a little vague, could have been clearer, or hard numbers. And the planning process, I felt, could have been a bit more detailed. And the evaluation process also could have been more detailed, but generally, I feel good about this one. And as far as extended outreach, it's implied but not directly stated. I mean, the authors could have made more of the fact that everyone sees public art, and so that the outreach and engagement, is really outstanding, but it's not directly addressed in that sense. The area is lower income and geographically isolated in relation to our state. Thank you.
Thank you, David. Michaela, do you have anything you'd like to add?
I think everything's been said.
All right, thank you. If you need to adjust your scores, please do so and give me a thumbs up when you're ready to go. All right. I see everyone has indicated they're done, so we'll move on to our next application. Josh?
All right. Our next application is from Institute for Holocaust Education. This grant application is for a collaboration between the Institute for Holocaust Education and Circle Theater to produce Honda's Suitcase by Emil Scher and at the new Alan J. Levine Theater on November 18th, 19th, and 22nd, 2026. Over 300 Omaha Public School students in grades 5 through 8 will attend the performances and participate in pre- and post-show workshops led by NAC Artists and Schools and Communities artist Fran Salou. Grant funds will pay for teaching artists facilitating the workshops.
Thank you. We will now begin with our primary reviewer, Rachel.
I want to make sure I'm off mute. I really appreciated the application materials in this application. I thought that the letters of support were helpful. The video work samples really sort of illustrated the performance, the Broken Dolls performance. I think that their goals are clear. Maybe they could have provided some more learning standard information. I know they included social studies state standard, but perhaps maybe some more fine arts connection. I think that the budget made sense. Again, with evaluations, I would recommend maybe a little bit more explanation of their plans. And I appreciate that they want to follow up a performance with workshops. I think that's a good strategy to kind of make the performances that they will put on more meaningful. And I appreciated that they sort of very early on in their application explained that the generation of students that are in school right now are sort of the first generation that may not ever interact with individuals who've actually lived through the Holocaust. So I thought that was a great impact statement. So that's what I have.
Thank you. David, you are our secondary.
Yes, this is, I think, a very intriguing and thought-provoking, extremely credible proposal, just from the inclusion aspects. It includes a Japanese author and telling a Holocaust story. And the Holocaust story, we simply cannot forget it. It's our responsibility to continue to tell that story and to encourage our students to come to terms with that. That's all I've got to add.
Thank you, David. Michaela, do you have anything you'd like to add?
I echo a lot of what they've said so far. It's of the importance of this project in today's times, and also just wanting a little bit more from the evaluation explanation. But other than that, nothing else.
Thank you. If you need to adjust your scores, please do so and give me a thumbs up when you're ready to move on. I see everyone has indicated they're done, so we'll move on to our next application. Josh?
All right, thank you, Dr. Clark. Our next application is from Lincoln Arts Council. This application is for Kids Start after-school art clubs offered in partnership with 32 Title I Lincoln Public Schools CLC sites from September 2026 through May 2027. Approximately 540 K-12 students will participate in 32 clubs, 16 in the fall, 16 in the spring, typically meeting weekly for 8 sessions in visual arts, music, theater, photography, digital design, and sculpture. Grant funds will pay teaching artists.
Thank you. We'll now begin with our primary reviewer, Rachel.
I think this was a really thorough application. I thought that their goals were very clear. I think that they had a clear plan for project evaluation. I think their budget made sense to me and encapsulated sort of everything that they discussed in their application. I appreciated how they explained that they're sort of extrapolating demographic information from national Title I trends to sort of help the reader understand what the sort of demographic landscape that they're operating in. I thought that their work samples were effective and that their letters of support were really great. So yeah, I think that they did a good job of sort of addressing the value of an arts club in terms of providing a needed service to students.
Thank you, Rachel. David, you are the secondary.
I agree with Rachel's assessment. I felt like this was a thorough and well articulated proposal. Let me go through my notes quickly. I felt like there could have been more clarity on the evaluation procedure. Just a bit more clarity. I thought it's good, but there was a little room for improvement. And that's all I got to say.
Okay, thank you, David. Michaela, is there anything you would like to add?
Nothing. There's nothing new I wanted to add to the conversation.
Okay, thank you. If you need to adjust your scores, please do so and give a thumbs up when you're ready to move on.
Dr. Roush, this might be a nice time for a break. So just a thought.
All right. Let's reconvene at 10:05. All right. Josh, start leading us through the second half of our applications, please.
All right. Our next application is from the Nebraska Art Teachers Association, NATA. This grant application is for 2026 NATA Fall Conference, Creative Ground, Identity and Community Through the Arts, held October 9 through 10, 2026 in Kearney at the Museum of Nebraska Art, the University of Nebraska at Kearney, and the Historic World Theater. The conference is expected to serve 100 to 125 PK through 16 students and art educators, pre-service teachers, administrators, and community-based arts instructors with peer-led sessions, 2 keynote presentations, an awards banquet, and a juried art educator exhibition. Grant funds will pay speaker fees, workshop supplies for the 2 keynotes, and help keep registration costs accessible.
Thank you. We will now begin with our primary reviewer, David.
Yes, I first am impressed by the breadth of impact this will have, since arts teachers from all over the state will be come here and meet. And this is, I guess they do this on an annual basis. It's my understanding. This is critical to art education in our entire state, and the benefit will spread through the whole state geographically, and I do appreciate that. I thought this was it's clear that this is very professionally written, and I appreciate that. Let me get to my notes. Oh dear. The goals were clearly stated. The evaluation process, I think, was extremely good. The planning procedure and budget were clear, and I appreciated it. And especially on extended outreach, this hit all the buttons for me. Attending teachers will take the ideas back home to their schools and communities. Letters of support were strong. Those are my comments.
Thank you, David. You are the secondary, Rachel.
I don't have anything to add. I agree with David's assessment.
All right, thank you. Michaela, do you have anything you'd like to add?
Nothing new to add.
All right, thank you. If you need to adjust your scores, please do so and give us a thumbs up when you're ready to move on. All right, Josh, back to you.
Okay, our next application is from Nebraska Communities Playhouse. This grant application is for 2 Yacht Club youth musical theater productions at Nebraska Communities Playhouse in Hickman, running July 6th through November 15th, 2026. Cinderella will run in July, and Music Man Jr. will run September through November, involving youth ages 9 through 14, and culminating in 7 public performances with up to 805 tickets available. Grant funds will help pay licensing fees, production staff, stipends, facility use, and costume and properties expenses.
Thank you. We will now begin with our primary reviewer, Michaela.
Okay. So starting with their project description, I think it was pretty straightforward about the timing, the youth served, rehearsals, and the ticket number. I think they had a great narrative about the educational impact, and I also enjoyed exploring their website and seeing the programming and what they put on in the past. Thinking about their goals, I thought they were very clear and thorough in their explanation of it. I also like that they are thinking ahead in terms of how participants will self-assess themselves and giving out surveys and measuring community impact. Um, their planning process was clear. Their budget seemed straightforward. I didn't have any notes on that. I liked that they were, in terms of their outreach and impact, they're considering demand and the communities that are growing faster than others in terms of population and how they're meeting that need. And also, I'm like they have an addition of a scholarship program for participants to participate with limited resources. And um, those are my main notes.
Thank you, Michaela. David, you are the secondary.
I concur with Michaela's assessment of this. I can reinforce the fact that I like the scholarships and I like the outreach to the communities. Thank you.
Thank you, David. Rachel, do you have anything you'd like to add?
Nope, I'm good.
Thank you. If you need to adjust your scores, please do so and give us a thumbs up when you're ready to move on. I see everyone has indicated they're done, so we'll move on to our next application. Josh?
Okay, thank you. Our next application is from Omaha Chamber Music Society. This grant application is for the OCMS Education Program, which sends 2 assemblies of Omaha Symphony musicians, a string quintet and a brass quintet, into Title I public schools in Omaha during the 2026-2027 school year to perform for and coach orchestra and band students, including a residency at Bryan Middle School. Grant funds will help pay the artists performing for and coaching the students.
Thank you. We will now begin with our primary reviewer, David.
Yes. The project overview was well written and clear, and the arts education value is extremely strong. I think any way we can get these top level professional performers out in our schools, meeting our students on a more personal, one-on-one, down-to-earth basis is of tremendous benefit. We cannot overstate that. The quality of the artists is absolutely first rate. The goals were well articulated. The evaluation procedure was especially well articulated. And they're asking for $5,000, and they already have $6,000 from Union Pacific and some individual donations. So the cost match is met. And those are my comments.
Thank you, David. Michaela, you are the secondary.
I think David gave a great overview of it. I didn't have I don't think too many comments that differed from his. Checking real fast. I think in terms of, yeah, I love the thoroughness of it and the thoughtfulness. I think I would have appreciated a little bit more in terms of the evaluation response. other in terms measuring, I guess, like any quantitative data maybe, but other than that, that's all I had to add.
Thank you, Michaela. Rachel, do you have anything you would like to add?
No, I'm good.
Thank you. If you need to adjust your scores, please do so and give a thumbs up when you're ready to move on. All right, Josh, we're back to you.
All right, Ida. Our next application is from Omaha. I'm sorry, Omaha Home for Boys, and we'll started reading the chamber music again. This application is for a year of weekly percussion lessons provided by Omaha Street Percussion for Youth at Omaha Home for Boys, serving approximately 50 youth ages 14 through 18 across 32 lessons, plus performance opportunities in the community. Grant funds will help pay for equipment, administrative expenses, and staff compensation for the 2 OSP instructors leading each class.
Thank you. We will now begin with our primary reviewer, David.
Yes, I like this application. I found it very creditable. The project overview was well written. The arts education value, I felt was a bit understated, and more detail could have been provided. I mean, I understand the value of music education, but I'm not sure everyone does. So, I mean, I have a bias towards music-oriented applications. And the quality of artists is good. I thought could possibly have been better. And the goals, now I have a question here because the educational learning standards were not described or discussed in my review of this. And this is going to take place at least partially in the school at the Omaha School for Boys. Is that, am I correct in my understanding? If that's the case, then I have concerns about that. Can anyone, yeah.
Just jumping in to clarify, Omaha Home for Boys is kind of like they may have a school built into it, but it's kind of an alternative youth housing.
It did say part of the activities would take place in the school there, and I didn't know how those standards would, if the requirements still held true for this as it would in public schools. That's my question. Other than that, I have no concerns.
All right, thank you, David. Rachel, you are the secondary.
I don't know that I have much to add. I really appreciated sort of the video of support included in the application that included a former participant of a past Omaha Street Percussion program. And I also thought that the video of the lesson that they included was also really great. So I think that their supporting materials were very strong, and I think that's all I have to add.
Thank you, Rachel.
Mhm.
Michaela, do you have anything you'd like to add?
Nope, everything's been said.
All right, thank you. If you need to adjust your scores, please do so and give a thumbs up when you're ready to move on. All right, we're ready for the next one, Josh.
Okay, our next application is from Proyecto Cultural. This application supports new traditional costumes and educational workshops for Sangra Azteca, Proyecto Cultural's Folklorico dance group, 13 youth and adult dancers based in Lincoln. Workshops led by artist Angelica Tapia and dance instructor Nayeli Hernandez in July and August 2026 will explore the history and techniques of dances from Nuevo Leon, Sinaloa, Veracruz, Oaxaca, and the Danza Azteca, with public performances to follow throughout fall 2026. Grant funds will pay for specially ordered regional dance costumes, workshop materials, and artist and instructor compensation.
Thank you. We will now begin with our primary reviewer, Michaela.
Overall, I think this is a great program, proposal and application. I enjoyed reading it, and hearing and seeing the detail and and the hints of passion I'm getting from just the writing. So yeah, I think this is an exciting program. Um, I liked exploring the work sample. Was there? I'm just making sure I'm just okay. And then yeah, the work samples. Um, in terms of the goals, it was pretty clear and they were straightforward about it. And knowing that they will conduct surveys and to assess their success of these goals, the timeline and the budget are pretty straightforward to me. I also liked the specificity of the demographics they were wanting to target, the impact, and where in Nebraska they are wanting to serve based on Hispanic and Latino families. I think my one question or concern would be the letters of support um, in terms of it's, well, one of them seemed just like a thank you. Well, they both seemed like just thank you notes for your service and not really in support of the actual work or support of this proposal itself. So it was hard for me to, I guess, validate them as letters of support, if that makes sense. But other than that, that's all I had to say.
All right. Thank you, Michaela. Rachel, you are the secondary.
I don't have too much to add, just that I agree with Michaela as far as the letters of support. It seemed like one of them in particular should have maybe been included in, I guess maybe I would have expected to see that incorporated into their narrative instead of included as a letter of support. So maybe just kind of thinking about for future applications how you incorporate sort of testimonials or things you've heard or feedback you've received in terms of impact and outreach instead of a letter of support. And then I think the project has very strong artistic merit, and I think that most of the supporting materials were great. And I think what I was looking for in this application that I would suggest for future applications would just be to maybe explain a little bit further the kind of the nature of the workshops versus kind of the dance performances. I think that there's like multi levels of arts engagement that they're shooting for, and I think I have questions kind of about how the workshops will work and how all those pieces sort of fit together. So maybe just a little bit more explanation of that. But otherwise, I think that the quality of programming is really strong.
All right. Thank you. David, do you have anything you'd like to add?
No, I can just say that I love the diversity in this proposal from so many different angles. I think the artistic merit is top notch, but I concur that there could have been more clarity in the structuring of the workshops. in the proposal. That's all I got.
Thank you. If you need to adjust your scores, please do so and give a thumbs up when you are done and ready to move on. All right, Josh, I think we're ready to move on.
All right, Dr. Roush, thank you. Our next application is from Sonder Productions. This grant application is for the Broadway Academy, a week-long performing arts intensive for middle and high school students held July 12 through 19, 2026 at the Central High School Performing Arts Center. Central City High School Performing Arts Center. Between 30 and 45 students will receive 48 hours of instruction in voice, acting, and choreography from 12 to 13 professional staff traveling from New York, Los Angeles, Phoenix, Utah, and across the Midwest. Grant funds will help cover payroll for the 11 to 13 professional artists and staff.
Thank you. We will now begin with our primary reviewer, Michaela.
I really enjoyed reading this application. I thought it was very well written and thorough. As a theater person, this is very exciting, and I think it's just a great program for students. I wish I experienced something like this. Going forward, one of the main highlights for me were the work samples, also how they were describing their goals and how they were going to measure them. They seem like they have a great plan. Um, and their planning process and their budget seem straightforward. I didn't have any notes regarding that. I also liked their narratives about their outreach plan, their impact, especially in rural communities. And let me check in my notes, see if there's anything else. Yeah, that's all I have.
Thank you, Michaela. Rachel, you are the secondary.
I think I'm good. I think that all I have in my notes is that maybe the tuition might be prohibitive in terms of outreach efforts, and so maybe a little bit more about. Um, I believe they had scholarship opportunities, but uh, I think that the project seems really great, and it seems very clear in their application that the community they've been returning to really values this program and really wants them. So, I mean, that speaks really highly of their project.
Thank you, Rachel. David, do you have anything you would like to add?
I have nothing to add.
Thank you. If you need to adjust your scores, please do so and give a thumbs up when you're ready to move on. I see everyone has indicated they're done, so we'll move on to our next application. Josh?
Thank you, Dr. Roush. The next application is from Salvation Army Ray and Joan Kroc Center. This grant application is for a 10-week summer camp mosaic mural project at the Omaha Kroc Center, in which 150 campers ages 5.5 through 14 will glaze ceramic tiles that together form a 3 by 5 foot mosaic mural celebrating the Salvation Army and South Omaha. Teaching artist Angela Kent will lead design and instruction with final installation inside the Kroc Center in late September 2026. Grant funds will support ceramic tile materials and compensation for the teaching artist.
Thank you. We will now begin with our primary reviewer, Rachel.
I think this sounds like a really fun project, fun summer project and outreach opportunity for art students. I appreciate the sort of, I don't know, the approach to making the mural seems really smart to me in terms of managing resources and materials and sort of helping students put something together that's really collaborative. I think that, you know, everything made sense to me in terms of budget, and the artistic merit is high. Um, I think one of the things I thought that some of the supporting materials, I think this was the one that had a zip drive, and I don't know, maybe it was just me, but I kind of had trouble opening that. So I guess I would say maybe being more selective about the supporting materials just for ease of review would be a recommendation I would make for future applications. But I thought this was a strong project.
Thank you. David, you are the secondary.
I concur with Rachel, and I have nothing to add.
Thank you. Michaela, would you like to add anything?
I would second what Rachel said as well.
Thank you. If you need to adjust your scores, please do so and give me a thumbs up when you're ready to move on. I see everyone has indicated they're done, so we'll move on to our next application. Josh?
Okay, our next application is from Third Chair Chamber Players / Nebraska Chamber Players. This grant application is for the Double Reed Roadshow during the 26-27 school year, in which a Nebraska Chamber Players Wind Quintet will visit every 7th grade band program in Lincoln Public Schools and surrounding districts. Approximately 20 programs of 30 students each. The project also includes a 2.5-hour professional learning workshop for music educators after the school year ends. Grant funds will support musicians entering schools, as well as teacher stipends and supplies for those attending the professional learning day.
Thank you. We will now begin with our primary reviewer, Dave.
Yeah, I feel that they're getting at a critical deficiency in my view, in Nebraska. We have a deficiency in double reed players, that is, players and teachers who are competent playing double reed instruments, which especially the oboe and the bassoon, which are, you know, I'm biased towards these instruments, but I recognize they are critical to the music that is part of our cultural fabric, these instruments. So that is a major pillar of this proposal. I thought the proposal was well written and easy to follow. The goals were strong. The evaluation could have been a bit stronger, could have included more detail. And educational outreach was generally good. So thank you.
Thank you, David. Michaela, you are the secondary.
I second a lot of what David pointed out. Even though I don't live in Nebraska, this seems like a very cool project, especially for chamber music fans. I think, yeah, I really appreciated the sample lesson plans and the amount of detail they gave, especially in their standards and goals. Um, and I think that's all I had to add.
All right. Thank you, Michaela. Rachel, do you have any anything you would like to add? All
No.
right. Well, thank you. If you need to adjust your scores, please do so and give me a thumbs up when you're ready to move on. I see everyone has indicated they're done, so we'll move on to our next application. Josh?
Our next application is from Oahu Area Arts Council. This grant application is for a Missoula Children's Theater residency at the Oahu Performance Learning Center from July 13 through 18, 2026, culminating in 2 public performances of The Little Mermaid. Up to 60 K-12 students from Oahu and the surrounding Saunders County area will participate, with an anticipated audience of approximately 400 family and community members. Grant funds will pay for a portion of the MCT tour fees, lodging for visiting artists, and the accompanist's wage.
Thank you. We will now begin with our primary reviewer, Rachel.
Well, I thought this was a good application in terms of their understanding of what Missoula Children's Theater could bring to their community. They seem to have qualified people in charge of their project as administrators. I appreciated their very detailed fine arts, their inclusion of fine arts standards in their application, which I think, as I understand, as an arts council, and not a school, they don't have to necessarily include in as much detail. I think that one of the things, something that I was a little sort of curious about in their budget is that they have a line in income for student participation fees. And I guess I'm just wondering how that might work, or if they might I guess a lot of these programs are free in other Nebraska communities. So I'm just wondering how they plan to implement that, or if they'll be able to collect that, or if they have a plan for maybe offsetting that with any scholarships. I don't want to confuse this with the other Missoula application, and I can't remember if they included language about a scholarship or kind of a waiver of some kind for students in need, just thinking about their outreach to underserved populations. Otherwise, happy to see another community bringing children's theater to their town for the summer.
Thank you, Rachel. Michaela, you are the secondary.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. I don't know why my camera's not working. But I really thank you, Rachel, for that. You even pointed out some stuff that I didn't consider before. But there's nothing new I necessarily wanted to add. It's exciting to see another tour happening. I'm reading about one in a different context, but yeah, I would agree with the same concerns Rachel had.
Thank you. David, is there anything you would like to add?
I concur with what's been said already. But just to add, that they point out that it serves a very relatively culturally deprived locale. 31% are economically disadvantaged, and it does mention audience members from care facilities being brought in, and I appreciate that. So I appreciate that about it. Thank you.
All right, thank you. If you need to adjust your scores, please do so and give me a thumbs up when you're ready to move on. I see everyone has indicated they're done, so we'll move on to our next application. Josh? Whoa, is that it?
We did it.
We did it. All right. Now that all applications have been discussed and scored, we'll take a 5-minute break. During this time, NAC staff will tally the scores and prepare information for final discussion. When panelists reconvene, we'll review the procedures and make final determinations. The final portion of the meeting is closed to the public, so we will end the live stream now, but before we do, I'll remind all applicants that you will be notified in June about the funding decisions for this grant category. So to all those watching today, thank you for joining us